Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to oppose the bill, the Finance Bill 24-25, on the following, based on the following grounds. That number one, Mr. Speaker, there was anger that was expressed yesterday on the streets coming from Kenyans, and to be specific, the Gen Z, the Generation Z revolution that started yesterday reminds me, Mr. Speaker, of number one, the revolution that took place in China, the Chinese Revolution, that was also known as the Peasant Revolution or the Mamamboga Revolution, that occurred in the year 1949, which was headed by a gentleman called Chairman Mao Zedong, together with Deng Xiaoping. Mr. Speaker, the revolution that started yesterday also reminds me of the Russian Revolution, which was the Bolshevik Revolution that took place in 1917 under the leadership of Vladimir Lenin and Joseph Stalin. It further reminds me, Mr. Speaker, of the Bourbon Restoration in France, the French Revolution that took place in the year 1789, that was headed by Maximilien Robespierre together with Napoleon Bonaparte, the military genius. Mr. Speaker, that revolution advocated for three things. Number one, equality and fraternity. Can you just shut up as I pump knowledge in your empty mind?
Kagombe. Babu, Owino, take your seat. Yes, give Kagombe the...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the member for Embakasi East...
What is out of order?
Is beating drums of war. It is very unfortunate to use this forum, Mr. Speaker.
Standing order, Kagombe.
The relevance of what the member of Parliament is speaking about is not relevant to the bill that we are discussing here. What he's doing is taking an opportunity to use this floor to beat drums of war in this country. We are at a very bad moment at the moment, at this time, and we cannot allow that to happen on this floor, on the floor of this House, Mr. Speaker.
Go on.
Mr. Speaker, you know I don't like responding to fools.
Order.
The Bible says in the
Can
book
you
of,
withdraw that? There are no fools in this house.
in the book of Proverbs 26, the Bible says, Mr. Speaker, that never respond to a fool because the...
Order, Babu Owino. Order, Babu Owino. In this house, order members, whether a member represents fishermen from the shores of the lake or the sea, whether a member represents herdsmen, whether a member is a professor, you are all honorable members of this house. And there are no fools in this house. And I want to warn you, Babu Owino, respect begets respect. Respect your colleagues, they will respect you. There are no fools here. Can you withdraw and apologize?
Mr. Speaker, a fool is somebody who does not understand something.
Order. Order. Order, Babu
If I
Owino.
think that somebody is a fool, why should...
Order. Order, Babu Owino. You withdraw and apologize, or I truncate the mic and give the floor to somebody else. Give him the mic. Yes, Babu.
I withdraw.
And apologize.
I don't apologize, Mr. Speaker.
Withdraw and apologize.
You can give the mic to somebody else, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
And I don't withdraw.
Okay, truncate the mic. Mutunga. Yes, Chonga. Give the mic to Chonga.
Thank you, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you made a statement before the House went for lunch that people should not even need to remove their cards from the sockets Mr. Speaker,
They didn't.
I went there, Mr. Speaker, after lunch I was number 7. When I came here, I was told I'm still number 7. Right now, the number of members who have contributed are more than 30, Mr. Speaker. So I wanted to know whether indeed you are still going with the list, or maybe you have changed the rules so that those who may not have a chance to speak can do something else.
Honorable Chonga, utaongea, hakuna shida. Honorable members, as you debate this, I want to repeat this. You know, there are people with various levels of education, various levels of knowledge, various levels of wealth, and many other things. Humility costs nothing. Respect costs nothing. The fact that somebody has said something you don't like doesn't make him a fool. The fact that somebody has said something you don't agree with doesn't make him a fool. Enda soma kitabu kiliandikwa na Mwalimu Nyerere akifafanua tofauti ya pumbavu na mjinga na utaelewa. Endelea, Bwana Mutunga.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity to also add my voice to this debate. Honourable Speaker, I stand to support the adoption of the committee report towards the amendments to the finance bill. Honourable Speaker, Kenyans have spoken and Kenyans have been heard. Many are times when you say that Kenyans are not heard, but this time around, Honourable Speaker, Kenyans have been heard and they have significantly changed the content and context of this bill. Honourable Speaker, the importance of the finance bill is that it gives the government the ability and the force and the mandate to support development, to support the running of the government itself. This is done by this House because we are mandated by the Constitution under Article 114 to impose or vary the different rates and taxes that different individuals and institutions do pay. Honourable Speaker, many speakers have spoken to revenue generation by governments. Government can get money from international trade, which we are not doing a lot. International trade does not mean one way. It's not importation. A lot more of exportation so that we may be able to earn foreign exchange and even make money as a government through taxes. Strengthening of the shilling is another one, but I want to dwell a lot more on the corporate and individual taxes. Honestly, this is the main source of income for this country, and therefore for us to be able to even engage in manufacturing, for us to be able to diversify the sources of revenue for our economy, we must be able to get money to invest. And the only way we can get this money is through taxation. Honourable Speaker, imposition of taxes sometimes will help us in various ways. Let me look specifically at the import substitution. Honourable Speaker, say for the foreign exchange increase, the imposition of the taxes also increases the possibilities for employment. We have very many Kenyans out there who are not employed, and we need to have them employed by creating possibilities for them. There are specific provisions within the report which basically vary the taxes. For instance, excise duty on potatoes, onions, and table eggs. I would like to dwell on this for 1 minute, Honourable Speaker. When we import potatoes, we make sure that our farmers do not produce. When we import onions, we export labor for our farmers. We bar them from producing. When we import eggs, for the table eggs, we make sure that our poultry farmers do not have market or they cannot sell competitively. So, Honourable Speaker, barring those ones through taxation on position of import duty is important. But there is a specific egg that is excluded, and this is the viable egg, which is basically used for production of day-old chicks. That is an input. It is not for the table. Honourable Speaker, eco-levy has been introduced in some of the issues, and I want to specifically dwell on the tires. Honourable Speaker, many of the people speaking in the social media are alluding to the fact that tires especially for the wheelbarrow, for the motorbikes and others have a tax. The tax has been removed, and it is important for Kenyans to know that the motorcycles that have got a duty on them and those that are fully imported when they are fully assembled, not the ones that are assembled in Kenya. Specifically on agriculture, Honourable Speaker, the VAT on cane transportation has been waived off, and this is important for purposes of reducing cost to the farmers. Let me talk about the issue of alcoholic beverages. Honourable Speaker, the movement from levying alcohol on quantity
And specifically going to the alcohol content is important because it will bar our young people from engaging in very concentrated alcoholic substances. Honourable Speaker, there has been an exemption of duty, a proposal for exemption of duty within this report for the beverages originating from sorghum, millet, and cassava. What this does, Honourable Speaker, is basically to improve the production of these particular commodities and therefore encourage production of other beverages through them. Honourable Speaker, there has been improvement within the report of disposable income. This is as a result of, for instance, levying 5% of the gross income on the pandiems as the waiver, which will increase the disposable income as opposed to the previous 2,000. Honourable Speaker, the inclusion of SHIF and the housing levy as statutory deductions also increases the disposable income. The final one, Honourable Speaker, I want to talk about is the motor vehicle circulation levy. This was a major issue, and I had also proposed to bring an amendment on this particular issue, but I'm glad the report recognized that and did away with it. Honourable Speaker, this report is balanced. We must raise some money. We cannot reduce everything. We cannot remove everything. We should be able.
Thank you. Honorable Owino.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It has been a long wait, but it's worth it for the people of Funyula and the people of Samia. Honorable Speaker, on the onset, a finance bill is meant to cure two issues: to make proposals for revenue raising for that particular financial year, and to make administrative changes to existing financial or revenue raising measures and taxes of that kind of a nature. Honorable Speaker, as I stand here today, I join the Kenyans all over the country who have been very unequivocal that they reject this particular bill. And they reject it emphatically, and they have got very valid reasons to reject it, Honorable Speaker. I'm here to represent the people of Funyula because there's an established principle, no taxation without representation. So, Honorable Speaker, I'm here on behalf of the people, and I state what the people of Kenya have told me. Honorable Speaker, just perusing through the draconian measures contained in this bill, Honorable Speaker, clearly indicates that drafters of the bill are sadists, are impervious to the suffering of the people of Kenya, and I call upon the cabal and the coteria that presented this bill to go and soul search and find out, are they part of the Kenyan people or they are part of the oppressors? Honorable Speaker, in all fairness, how would you impose an income tax on an asset? How? I mean, a car is an asset. It's not an income generating activity. How do you impose income tax on an asset? Honorable Speaker, how do you impose income tax on the very basic things? Bread, sanitary pads, whatever they call it. In our days, where they used to call them napkins, nowadays are called pampers. During our days when we were parents, they were called napkins. How do you impose VAT and increase the cost of all those things in such a draconian manner in hard times, Honorable Speaker? Honorable Speaker, they will pontificate that they have made changes to the bill, that the benevolence of the Almighty, whether the Almighty God or whatever, has instructed them to make changes to the bill. Honorable Speaker, and I still hold my position that a committee report does not navigate or does not negate a bill. It's just a committee report. It can either be carried or it can be failed. So I want to tell Kenyans wherever you are, this is a red herring, this is a gimmick, do not fall onto it. Be relentless in your push, be relentless on harassing your MPs to make sure they protect the rights and interests of the Kenyans, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as we stand here, we have passed two finance bills under this regime. We have passed this second one, we passed the first one, this is the second one, under this regime. They keep on gloating that we have reduced the fiscal deficit. That from 6 point something to 3 point something, Honorable Speaker. And I want Kenyans to understand this. Any reduction in fiscal deficit must be commensurate with improvement in GDP growth rate. Honorable Speaker, the GDP growth of Kenya has stagnated at 5%. And the World Bank estimates this year indicates likewise it will remain the same at 5%. So the so-called fiscal reduction of fiscal the deficit is a paper story, has no impact at all on the ground. Honorable Speaker, we need to be very